So what's up YouTube? This is your post for June 8th, 2024. So tomorrow will be my mom's birthday. She would be 76 years old. She passed away in 2016 of 3 heart attacks, COPD, horses psoriasis, and then what I had, which mine mostly cleared up. And then my dad's would be in February. He'll be 75. He had aneurysm, stroke, and kidney like dialysis kind of thing. But mom's birthday's tomorrow, so happy birthday, Mom. So this is our June update. So current housing. So let's backtrack before I start this story. I had made a check out to my property for rent. They stupidly cashed it, which made my account negative. Okay, thank God I had a customer angel, we'll call them by, who gave me $400 to cover my negative, which is awesome. So now I'm at a little under $100 in the bank. I do have Amazon pending for tomorrow's delivery for food, and then I'm hoping to add more on my YouNow account as far as coins with this next payday. Wells Fargo I already paid the $412 toward rent, so I only have, let's say, another $400 to cover for this month. And then this week I'm supposed to be off the whole week, so now I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Friday, so that'd be definitely overtime, and then I'll get paid for Wednesday, Thursday for vacation. So this check, that check, and then the holiday check, and then once I get my payment from E-Trade, then I can start saving for October trip to see Mr. Bombay. So current housing. As of this posting, my current rent was from $790 a month, went up by $70, which is what I'm hearing is average for most properties. $7 a buck to $863 a month. Ouch. Big ouch. And we finally got a new washer and dryer upgrade as well. Wound up using our app instead of the stupid card, since the washer and dryer wanted the app more than the card. So anyway, so planning to stay home for the week on June 9th to 16th. I probably won't have money for hotel, which we'll try again in August. Now we can just stream and be a vlogger. Next one will be on Pride weekend, which will be that Sunday. We'll be able to stream that, as well as show it live on YouNow from San Francisco from Channel 7. I do want to also stream San Diego Pride at some point. I have it tagged in one of my notes. So next vacation after that would be June 25th for a haircut, 26th to see my uncle, because he recently got a new house in Gilroy, really nice, has a pool too. So 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th off. Then July 1st to see my case manager. Hopefully after, things should be spiffy. After that, October will update on plans leaving from CVS and San Andreas. So San Andreas is my service provider who I have had since high school, and with someone moving one end up this way at some point. Right now, I told him it's like a 5-year plan right now, so we will see what happens. But definitely, if we can move in together, which would be awesome, and maybe get my portion of cash lower to where I can actually start paying things off, which would be awesome. in the near future. So onwards to August, we'll be taking a week in August, we'll be getting another hotel, hopefully 2 stream, post, chill, work all of September with the raise on the way, which, according to our rep, they started early purposely because the last contract was late. So we had to wait 2 months before we got the retro and the actual raise included. So hopefully by the end of July, I will have my raise to $24 an hour, which would be awesome. And on to October to see Mr. Baum in Monrovia, California, which I will be taking Flixbus. October 14th. We'll leave San Jose at 8:05 a.m. in the morning, which I think a friend of mine wants to tag with me because she wants to see a friend in Santa Barbara. I told her Flixbus is just a straight trip from San Jose to Santa Barbara. But with mine, I would stop in San Fernando and LA before I hit Glendale. So we'll leave at 8:05, arrive in San Fernando at 2:05 p.m. Leave San Fernando at 3:15, or leave LA, we'll say. Arrive in Glendale at Metrolink at 3:55, and then shortly meet up with Mr. Baum. Head to the hotel, have dinner, hopefully just chill for the night, and then hopefully as they venture out to his house, check out what furniture he needs or would need. Dinner, you know the rest. I'm there for these 4 days, so things could happen. Talk business, talk venture capital for his live stream, and then see what plays on the rest of the 3 days. The trip on Flixbus round trip is $100. Learn. My neighbor needs to freaking learn. So on my main account, I have 12,477 diamonds. Cash value right now is $1.25 USD. Crown is I need to send 17,337 more likes before June 15th before I can get my second crown, or secure my second crown. Of that, 12,663 is left of the 40,000. Props, I'm at 38.72 experience level. 85 is my next one, and I'll get 5,000 bonus pearls. Coins, I have 13,701 because I just added some. Pearls, I'm at 4 million. Prop chest, I'm at 14 because I'm really trying to up the newer one. My likes are very low. So top fans are Tessie, Vicky, and Jean. And then on that one, the last stream was the second. So I made 60,057 likes for one stream. Then the newer one, I have 5,809, cash value 58. Crown sent 17,702 more likes by June 15. 22,208 is left of the 40,000 to make likes for the next crown. Props is 5.836 experience to level 55 plus 1,500 bonus pearls. They changed the bars to pearls. Don't ask why. So coins 11,590, pearls 544.9k. Prop test I don't have on that one yet. That one I think I'm 25 levels shy of another prop test. So top fans, Iron Woman, you're awesome. Ronan, you're awesome. Saboa? Thanks for being top fans in the broadcast. And that one I made 1,422, which was the 8th, which would have been yesterday, or today, however the thing tags it out. So So into local boring news. BART on Thursday, disability rights advocates concluded their 7-year-long class action suit with the Bay Area Rapid Transit District. The settlement agreement promises a series of improvements to its accessibility services, most of which are focused on elevator and escalator repairs and emergency preparedness, the settlement states. SFPD seizes 13 pounds of narcotics, makes 13 arrests in a one-day operation. The suit was filed in April 2017 in the U.S. District Court of Northern District of California on behalf of the group of Senior Disability Actions in San Francisco and the Independent Living Resource Center of San Francisco, along with 2 people with mobility issues. The plaintiffs were represented by Disability Rights Advocates, or DARA, DRA, a national nonprofit legal center. Plaintiffs from DRA allege that they and other people with mobility disabilities are denied full and equal access to the BART system and are provided a level of service vastly inferior to which BART is non-disabled customers enjoy, the complaint said. A November 2017 study conducted by Vertical Transportation Excellence showed that over 40 BART elevators as well as other 40 escalators were in need of renovation in both San Francisco and Oakland stations, impeding any BART passenger who could not take the stairs, the settlement states. The settlement requires BART to fix all of its elevators, escalators within the next 15 years, and will take efforts to add more elevators once renovations are done. The settlement also expects elevators to be repaired within 1 hour of being out of service, except on weekends and holidays. Aside from renovations, BART will be upping overnight to its elevators in partnership with San Francisco Metropolitan Transportation Agency. The 2 parties will have a third-party company to provide elevator attendance to prevent elevator vandalism and soiling, the settlement states. According to the settlement, elevator attendants will be found at the Civic Center, Powell, Embarcadero, and Montgomery Station. BART plans to increase staffing in hopes of responding within 30 minutes of the soiling complaint, taking priority over all other janitorial tasks, the settlement said. Elevator attendants aside, BART plans to both increase staffing, especially graveyard shifts, as well as improve training toward emergency preparedness. Some of the improvements include I cut it off with that. Next one. So just in a few days, legendary business in San Jose will fade into memory. The last Burger Pit restaurant is closing for good after serving Silicon Valley for 70 years. Through the years, it's been not only the food but the service that endears the burger spot to its loyal customers. Most regulars will tell you that they'll miss Jody Millerman, who has worked at the restaurant for nearly 50 years. One customer explained that Jody opens mayonnaise packets for her because that she only has the use of one hand. Back when Jody started, the Burger Pit brand was around 20 years young, but like all things good in this world, it must come to an end. So why is it closing? Well, Millerman says it's simply because of the property owner is not renewing the lease, and anyone who wants to try the Burger Pit can do so this weekend and close on Tuesday at the time of this writing. State workplace safety officials plan to protect employees from indoor heat this summer, but due to the cost concerns, a separate rule is in the works for state prisons that will take more time. California workplace safety officials will try again to pass a long-delayed rule to protect indoor workers for extreme heat this summer, other than the correctional officers and the other prison staff. The Division of Occupational Safety and Health, or Cal-OSHA, announced this week that it plans to revise the proposal indoor heat rule for all workers statewide to curb out state and local correctional facilities. It would temporarily resolve cost concerns raised by Governor Gavin Newsom administration and allow the rule to be formally approved this summer for all other workers. The rule is intended to benefit those who work indoors without air conditioning, as rising temperatures increase in California risk of heat illness. The industries most likely to be affected including warehouse, restaurants, and manufacturing. The proposal rule requires employers to either try to cool the workplace that get hotter than 87 degrees indoors or take other measures to reduce any risk of heat illness, such as slowing down production, shifting schedules, or mandating more breaks. California has had heat illness prevention rule for outdoor workers since 2005, when it rushed regulations into place after the death of 4 farm workers. If a new rule is finalized, California would join 2 other states and have indoor heat workplace rule. A 2015 state law set a 2019 deadline for the rule. But in the 11th hour move the evening before the scheduled vote, the administration withdrew a required fiscal sign-off, saying that the rule could cost the state prison system billions more dollars than the workplace agencies has estimated, that forced the state to miss an administrative deadline at the end of March to implement the rule. Speaking to the Occupational Safety and Health Standards Board today, Bird said the agency found a time extension in state law that will allow it to revise the rule to exempt prisons and administration's fiscal sign-off. The revised rule is likely to take at least a few weeks to approve because it's required 15-day public comment period and needs to be voted on again by the safety board. Cal-OSHA Burke said will next separately propose a new rule to address heat for jail and prison workers. The process will likely require a separate cost analysis and public hearing and could take anywhere from a few months to a few years. He said he doesn't anticipate the agency will make further change to the general indoor heat rule, which has already undergone several revisions since Cal-OSHA began developing it in 2017. But employers groups during today's meeting continued to urge changes, calling the proposed rule both confusing and expensive. Workers' advocates said that they were most interested in seeing the rule on track to become official this summer, but were disappointed to see correctional workers left out. The administration has not provided a public explanation of its prison cost estimates or why its concerns were discovered so late. Both the Finance and Corrections Departments said that only that the labor agency's estimate about $1 million in costs in the rule's first year was inaccurate, but neither has stated exactly how much they believe the cost. Instead, exactly how much they believe it will cost. Going further, Corrections spokesman Albert Lunden said last month the rule would require immediate infrastructure investments in CDCR facilities across the state and would require the department to immediately request the legislature to appropriate billions of dollars for extensive capital improvements. In response to a pending public records request filed by CalMatters for the prison cost estimates, finance officials have said that they will withhold some records under an exception for records that are part of the governor's and director's finance deliberative process over budget and policy decision. The decision was made by Finance Senior Staff Counsel Donna Furby. The growing risk of extreme heat have for years confronted the correctional department, which has several prisons in desert towns. State prisons are mostly cooled using elaborate coolers or fans. A project to install cooling units at the San Francisco California Institution for Men in Chino is currently slated to cost the state $18 million for planning and construction. A project at the Ernwood State Prison in Blythe to replace an old cooling system with heating, ventilation, and air conditioning has been under construction since 2018 and is estimated to cost $187 million. For private industry, a 2021 RAND Corporation Economic Impact Report estimated the cost of indoor heat rule on employers statewide to total $215 million in the first year and about $88 million annually afterwards, mostly for employers to install AC or fail to provide cool down areas. The analysts also stated employers would save money because the rule would cut indoor workplace. The analysis also stated employers would save money because the rule would cut indoor workplace heat injuries by 40% by 2030. CalMatters is a non-profit, nonpartisan media venture explaining California policies and politics. A multi-million-dollar work backlog in San Jose is leaving many empty spaces where playground equipment used to be. Basketball courts eroded and turf riddled with holes from squirrels and gophers. San Jose Parks Department has more than $554 million infrastructure backlog according to the 2024 City State report, with many East Side parks in despair. Most of the city's parks budget come from development fees, and advocates are calling for the city to diversify funding on what they said is an equity issue. The city is working on solutions such as asset management, maintaining parks that as they are, and improving efficiency, but there's no concrete solution to the 293 playgrounds and 212 parks that are part of the expected 5-year capital budget, roughly $385 million for 2024 to 2028 fiscal year. San Jose Parks representatives did not respond to questions before publication, but said at an April 8th Transportation Environment Committee meeting that the department is continuing to assess needs and create plans to reduce problems. A photo of Sylvia Cassell Park in San Jose, where Councilman Peter Ortez said is a pirate ship structure, used to be visible in photo of play structure and a slide on a tanbark with kids swinging on the playground. Gene Dresden, founder of San Jose Park Advocates, says the city's funding methods are lacking because the budget shifts at Williamsville Development, which varies year to year depending on the district. Dresden wants the city to consider a bond partial tax, which he said would get a positive response if residents knew there wasn't enough funding funneling in from San Jose's existing approach. Ortiz and his colleagues on the Transportation and Environmental Committee said putting a parks bond on the November ballot is unlikely because of the negative responses they received on polls. San Jose last saw a park bond in 2000, meaning facilities rejuvenated from that bond are going out with no budget for replacements or repairs. Bob Levy, a Santa Clara County Park and Recreation Program Manager, said former San Jose Parks Commissioner said parks will continue deteriorating if the city does not expand its funding. He said parks are usually the last priority to the city's budget, not helped by short staffing. Ortiz said the backlog effects are especially stark in District 5, partly at Sylvia Castle and Mayfair Parks, where the grounds are gaping holes in place of the playground equipment. He said the park funding is inequitable by default because East San Jose is not a development heavy compared to other parts of the city. He added developers pay half of the usually required fees because most Eastside projects are affordable housing. Parks said outside of the district are struggling too. Alum Rock Park, San Jose's oldest park, struggled to reopen July last year after an onslaught of rain, despite receiving $240,000 from the budget in 2022. The city parks ranked 32nd in comparison to other nation's most popular cities last year, are also funded through grants and earmarks. In the face of a large backlog and an expected $52.1 million budget deficit for next year, the Parks Department has renovated 14 basketball courts, 20.1 miles of trails, replaced and renovated 21 playgrounds since 2020, according to the report. Ortiz will continue pushing for a more even allocation of money for parks cityside going into the year's budget cycle while considering other funding methods. So KFC fans in California might soon have fewer finger-licking good options close by. The fast food chain known as Fried Chicken announced a national closure plan impacting over 1,100 restaurants. While KFC has not revealed state-by-state breakdown, California is likely to see some closures. Golden State closures likely, and here's why KFC closures are a possibility. Nationwide, restructuring of KFC parent company Yum Brands aims to streamline operations by closing underperforming locations across the U.S. California, with a large number of KFC restaurants, could be significantly affected. Shifting consumer habits, the rise of online ordering and delivery services might be impacted. Traditional fast food dine-in experience, including KFC, pinpointing specific closures. Local news reports keep an eye on local news outlets, which often pick up on store closures announcements. KFC location. The KFC locator food is hashtag https://location.kfc.com/ca can be used to check the status of a specific location. If a store is slated to close, it may be marked temporarily closed or removed from the listing entirely. Impact on California residents. The closure could mean restricted access in some areas. Might have to travel farther to visit the nearest remaining KFC location. Shift to online options. The closure could encourage Californians to utilize KFC's online ordering and delivery services. The future of KFC in California. The KFC closure reflect an evolving fast food landscape, and here's what the future might hold. Focus on profitability. KFC might prioritize locations with higher sales volume and better profitability. Adapting to new trends, this chain might invest in drive-thru efficiency, delivery options, or menu innovation to stay competitive. While some California KFC locations might close, the colonial legacy in the state of California is undeniable. KFC will likely adapt a strategy to ensure California can continue to enjoy their favorite fried chicken. So, the U.S. Department of Labor will set in motion new overtime rules starting this summer to allow millions of workers to be eligible for overtime pay. Under the current regulations, the Fair Labor Standards Act, hourly or non-exempt employees who work over 40 hours a week are entitled to overtime compensation of 1.5 of their regular pay. Salary workers, or those who are paid fixed amount above $35,568 per year, that's $684 per week, are exempt from the Fair Labor Act rule overtime regulations, meaning they are not entitled to overtime pay. Those employees primarily perform executive, administrative, or professional duties as provided by the Department of Labor regulations. So in April, the Labor Department announced a new motion to expand how many Americans are eligible for overtime pay. Under the rules, after July 1st, salary compensated employees who make $43,888 or less a year, equivalent to about $844 per week, will be eligible for overtime pay. The final rule updates and revised regulations issued under Section 13A1 of the Fair Labor Standards Act. On January 1st, 2025, the department is set to raise the threshold again to those who make $158,656 per year, or $1,128 per week. The capacity will be raised once again on July 1st, 2027, and every 3 years after. The standard will be determined by the department to reflect the current earning data. The Labor Department estimates that 4 million salaried workers who weren't previously eligible will qualify. Some occupations, though, including teachers, doctors, lawyers, are not eligible for overtime pay and thus are not affected by the change. Some states, like California and New York, already have salary thresholds that exceed the federal level. The nation's largest funeral service provider deceived customers in the Bay Area through false advertising prices, according to the District Attorney of Alameda County, Marin County, and San Francisco. The funeral company Service Corporation International reached a $23 million settlement with the District Attorney in California, Attorney General Rob Manina, this week. The proposed settlement provides full restitution to customers, comprehensive relief, and $23 million in civil penalties, according to Benitez's office. Funeral services sold by SC's company Neptune and Trident. My mom and my grandparents used Neptune Society. When my mom passed, she had a policy with Neptune, which we cashed out because no offense to my mom, I could not see using it for the purpose that she had recently paid for it, so we cashed it out. My uncle, being the conservator, wrote a letter to Neptune, got the cash back, went to a local crematory, instead of paying $1,000 something, paid $800 to have my mom's ashes scattered in San Cruz Bay. Allegedly violated the unfair compensation law, UCL, and false advertising law, FAL. Pre-need cremation packages are a way for people to pay for the cremation services while they're still alive. California law requires that all money paid for pre-need federal arrangements are placed in trust until either the beneficiary dies and services are provided or a consumer cancels the contract, which is what we did with my mom's, at which point the consumer is entitled to a full refund. Sold through the Neptune and Trident locations in the Bay Area, SCI highest selling pre-need cremation package was marked as the standard plan. The plan was allegedly deceptive, and SCI withheld from trust more than half of the total price. There are 3 Neptune Society locations in Alameda County, Castro Valley, Livermore, and Oakland. There is a Trident Society location in Fremont and cremation services in Oakland. The company has more locations across the Bay Area. SCI is based in Texas. And also in this county, you cannot dump your loved one's ashes just because you want to throw it away. You actually have to get a permit from the county office in order to have your loved ones scattered. The California Attorney General and consumers should know that they have choices when making funeral and cemetery arrangements. While it is helpful to let your loved ones know your desires regarding burial and cremation, you are not required to prepay for funeral or crematory services or to buy a pre-need plan. Providers must be licensed by the state, and state law protect customers. Unlicensed Marin County contractors cited for legally high prices under settlement. SCI agreed to cease selling the standard plan or any similar package unless all money paid for the plan or package and money paid for any collateral agreement is placed into trust. Provide clear written disclosure informing consumers of their rights under California law, including consumers are not required to purchase additional products or services in order to purchase pre-need cremation services. Provide a full refund upon request to any customer who cancels a pre-needed funeral. Agree to comply with California law when advertising veterans benefits. The Salvation Army is teaming up with San Jose and Santa Clara County to help tackle the South Bay homeless crisis. The Salvation Army has been part of San Jose since the 1800s, and its current site on 4th Street for 80 years, but changes are coming to the location. On Monday, leaders from the county and the city and nonprofit world unveiled plans to help Salvation Army expand into housing more homeless. Essentially, the Emmanuel House is an 18-bed sober living environment that will be expanded to 112 and sending an overall available beds to over 300. Nonprofit advocates praised this ambition upgraded facility, saying it's not true that homeless people prefer the streets, but the agency will build temporary housing on a grass lot to accommodate those who will be displaced during the transformation. Then those units will be turned into permanent housing. San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan and Councilman Omar Torres said the city has been meeting with neighborhood groups to keep them in the loops. Chavez said for the first time Salvation Army services will be available to the spiking number of unhoused women with children. Salvation Army acknowledged that it actually has a no woman policy, which will go away officially when the groundbreaking on the site starts, probably sometime this fall of 2024. Okay, screw that up. We're done with that story. PCR, oh, bird flu. Sorry, oh. Okay, sorry, I found where I need to be. So, the long-term sustainability of a beloved Campbell Theater is in jeopardy after being hit with an unmanageable rent hike, which we all have. Premier Cinema's management is working to reconstruct its lease with landlord agency. Centers are looking for local supporters to help Regency to understand its long-standing relationship with the community. In January, the cinema located in the Premier Shopping Center was hit with an inordinate 20% rent hike due to the property tax increase. Theater management said they received no explanation for the delayed hike 5 years after Regency Centers bought the property in 2019. The recent hike exacerbated an already hit rent. Management said Premier Cinema attempted to restructure its lease terms during the pandemic when sales plummeted, but Regency Centers did not meet its request during negotiations, saddling it with an above market rate rent in post-pandemic environment. The iconic theater is a historic Campbell Gym, opening in 1969, long before shops and restaurants put down stakes. It has changed ownership over time, with Premier Cinemas becoming an anchor tenant in 2018. Today, Orloff said the movie theater draws roughly 150,000 people per year to the shopping center, and the traffic spills over into surrounding businesses. In 2017, the nearly 50-year-old cinema Camera 7 closed in the Premier. More than a year later, Premier Cinema opened with a revamped look and included a dining experience where customers could order food and drinks take to their seats from the Cedar Room and adjoining restaurant and bar. It also offers events such as comedy shows, drag queen bingo, which Orloff has said it helps its comeback from the pandemic bring revenues up by 80%. What they were when they were pre-pandemic. Some bird flu, as we know, is very rarely transmissible from humans to human, but we are being told the bird flu may have mutated. If it has indeed mutated, is that a sign that the current strand is again a function manipulation? That is exactly what the study suggests. The Who says the first human has died from the latest strand of bird flu in Mexico? So stop me if you've heard this one before. Now health experts are saying that the U.S. should be PCR testing for bird flu, even as recent court rulings in Europe show that the COVID PCR tests were highly faulty. The government of Japan has launched an official dating app in bid to boost failing marriages and birth rates. The birth gap crisis is worse in Japan, one of the earliest countries to acknowledge that in this modern world. That this was documented in the harrowing document Birth Gap. According to reports last year, Japan recorded more than twice as many deaths as new babies. In an effort to get couples to start families, the government launched an official dating app that will use the official ID to authenticate users. It will also require a tax filing to verify salary. Some have wondered if government should be doing this with tax dollars, not tax dollars, but without people. There will be no government or tax dollars. They've got to do something. Maybe they should offer incentives such as tax-free year, or for any couple that gets and stays married using the app. What do you think? Give me a minute. Alright. Here. Stay quiet. boy. Hope you watch that. The Biden administration has closed the southern border for asylum seekers, with this order prohibiting the entry of any non-citizen into the United States across the southern border. This is one of the president's first real admissions that the southern border has been bombarded. He blames Congress and the integrated system for it, but says that the real fix will be that he will fix it by exercising his executive authority. While the order suspends entry for non-citizens, it provides for what is called appropriate expectations for those who are particularly vulnerable. How will that determine due to the high volume of people at the border? So, this is a bold statement, but will only convince Americans if it is followed by bold action. Will it? Meanwhile, the Biden Justice Department is suing various states to prevent them from enforcing laws that would allow for the arrest or deportation of legal migrants. Will they drop those cases based on the new admission that mass migration is a problem? A new report from NASA scientists show that global policies to restrict global warming are causing more global warming. Many people who study this have long since said this, but were called climate deniers, including Michael Schellenberg and Bertrand Lomborg. The study shows that fuel regulations reduce the emissions of sulfur dioxide from international shipping by 80% and created an environment geoengineering termination shop with global impact. Oops. They said that this amount of radioactive forcing could lead to a doubling or more of the warming rate in 2020 compared with the rate since 1980, with strong This is proof that climate policies are not based on science and politicians are just winging it for political gain. If they actually studied climate models, they would not do this. But they don't. So anyways, that is your update for June 8th, 2024. If any of your family have a birthday tomorrow, meaning Sunday, wish them happy birthday. Yeah, my mom's is tomorrow, so I purposely requested it also. But I will post another vid next month with hopefully happier news when it comes to vacations and Bambi and money and just life in general. So anyways, give me a like, give me a share. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, which I hardly ever use except for logins. Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. Now, of course. YouTube, please sub me. I'm at 34. All the subs are very appreciated. I've already passed my first 1,000, I think. And I'm still at the second part in order to be actual creator on YouTube. So, almost getting there. So anyways, have a good month, happy Pride, and we'll see you next month.